gosh. Okay, that was too dorky. Hi, welcome back to my channel. Today I want to sort of hop on the trend of unpopular opinion videos. These opinions are unpopular, so honestly it's open season. Like, come for me in the comments if you disagree. And if I'm not the only one with this opinion and you agree, then also please let me know so that I'm not the only one. Ooh, okay, I guess I'll just start. So my first unpopular opinion is something a little bit specific to the Greater Bay Area, and that is Philz coffee. Now, if you're not from around here, you've probably never had it, you don't know what I'm talking about. Philz Coffee is a local chain that people in this area love. They absolutely love it, and I'm gonna be honest, every time I've gone there, my drink has been just flat out bad. Just not a good drink, and you're paying like $6, which I don't know. I don't go out for coffee that often, and I expect it to be pretty good when I do, and they're just not good. I've ordered so many different drinks from there, and every time it has just been like not worth it. That's my opinion. Definitely unpopular. Let me know if there's a drink that is really good there, because even ones I've been recommended, they're just not good. There's so many other coffee shops I'd rather go to, smaller coffee shops and like independent coffee shops that I just would honestly rather go to, because Philz is not it. For anybody from the upper Midwest, Philz is like the Bay Area equivalent of Caribou coffee, which I do kind of miss, but it's not that big of a deal. There's other coffee shops. Yeah, I just don't like Philz. I suppose sort of in that same vein, I don't know if this is an unpopular opinion, but I do not like Coca-Cola. I think it tastes like battery acid. Like, it doesn't taste good. It tastes like I am stripping away everything off my teeth. It tastes like it's doing something really weird to my body. Like, it just doesn't taste like it should be ingested at all. I don't know how people drink a lot of Coca-Cola. I'm not trying to like be mean. To me, it just doesn't taste like something that is meant to be ingested by humans. To me, it tastes like something that you would like clean machinery with or something. My next unpopular opinion is a literary unpopular opinion, and that is about The Great Gatsby. I don't think The Great Gatsby is terrible. I just don't understand why that is the book by F. Scott Fitzgerald that everybody raves about, because it's probably not as strong as a lot of his other works. He recycles a lot of the same themes and settings, and by the time he got to The Great Gatsby, that had just already been done. I also really think that Tender is the Night is probably, I just feel like that book is so underrated by him, and everybody talks about The Great Gatsby, and I don't really know why. It's good, but I feel like he actually has a lot of books that explore the same types of characters, themes, and settings in a better way. But every 9th grade English teacher is gonna make you read The Great Gatsby, and frankly, Tender is the Night is better. This Side of Paradise is probably a more appropriate book for teenagers to actually be reading, because it deals with such angsty themes. So I don't fully get it, but that's okay. My next hot take or unpopular opinion is another food related one, and that is that potato chips are just overrated. I don't really like them. I don't like to eat a lot of them. It's a very rare occasion that I reach for them. I craved them like once while I was pregnant, but honestly, other than that, in my day-to-day life when I'm not literally growing a human, I have no interest in potato chips. I just feel like they're not that good. They're just really overrated. So my next unpopular opinion is a travel related unpopular opinion. This is going to be very divisive. A lot of people probably disagree with this, but I think that Paris is overrated. Let me explain. I think that Paris is nice and it has a lot of just amazing historical and cultural attractions. There's definitely great desserts, great food. I think that its reputation as a city of romance is a little bit misplaced or perhaps misguided. I should say that I went there with my husband before we got married, and it did not feel like the most romantic place that we visited on our trip. In fact, we actually decided to get married in Munich. I would say for like a city that's similar to Paris, but I really liked a lot better, was Brussels. Obviously, they're all very unique and different, but I just felt like Paris was a little bit overrated. I know a lot of people view it as the end-all be-all of overseas vacations. A lot of people view it as just the most romantic city, the most romantic place on earth. And it's beautiful and it has cool history, but I just don't see it as being the most romantic place on earth. If anything, it feels to me less romantic and a little bit more like great history and culture and kind of cool restaurants and like edgy. I don't know, it feels like a cool place, but it doesn't feel super romantic. And if I were choosing between like Paris and Brussels, I would choose Brussels. I would choose Brussels for sure. They both have great metros, they both have a lot of cool history and culture, but I liked Brussels better. I think that's pretty unpopular. Not my favorite place, although Ladurée is very good. That being said, you should go on vacation where you want to go on vacation. Let me take a baby break, let me take a lily break. Whoa, wow, wow. Let's move on to some of my film and movie related unpopular opinions. The first one I just have to get off my chest is that the film adaptation of I'm Thinking of Ending Things was bad. I didn't like it. And I loved the book, so it kind of was, I mean, honestly not unexpected that I wouldn't like it, but I went into it kind of with an open mind, with positive ideas, and I'm sorry, I think Charlie Kaufman has done some other really great films, but this was just not it for me. I know a lot of people raved about it. I did a review when I watched it, I'll link it somewhere, but I just wasn't a fan. That book was so good, and I just feel like it was also a structure that would be really hard to adapt, so I'm not even gonna say that it's because of the adaptation. I just think it was never really meant to be a movie to begin with, and that's that. Ooh! My next movie unpopular opinion, people are gonna hate this. My next movie unpopular opinion is that The Dark Knight is the worst of the Batman trilogy. Hear me out. I just think, yes, obviously people love to praise Heath Ledger's performance as the Joker, and I do think he did a great job. But when I really look at it, it's the transition movie. And so we have Batman Begins, which is really doing a lot of setup and honestly is probably my favorite. And then we've got The Dark Knight, which I don't know. I just feel like it's not a bad movie by any means. I still like it, but I feel like the one with Bane is just a lot scarier and a lot more intense and intimidating. For sure, The Dark Knight. Oh. You have opinions too. It definitely builds tension and suspense really, really well. I do think it's got a lot of bullet points. It builds tension and suspense really well. It does have some nice curveballs that it throws you, but to me it just feels like a transition movie to get to that end. Bane as a villain is so much scarier to me. He is terrifying. I just liked the Bane movie better than The Dark Knight, and I think Batman Begins is really my favorite. I also think though that I have a tendency to like the first movie in trilogies the best, because I feel that way about the Fellowship of the Ring and the Lord of the Rings trilogy. So maybe I like it before it gets too dark, and that's just like a personal thing. I remember The Dark Knight being really hyped up before I watched it, and so even though it's a good movie, I feel like it just doesn't live to the hype. Like, it's very overrated. My next unpopular opinion is related to Game of Thrones, the TV show. Now, don't get me wrong, season 8 it wasn't even a hot mess, it was just a mess. But I will say, even though everybody else seemed to hate the Battle of Winterfell, I actually really liked that. I thought that that battle was really well done, and I know a lot of people said it was so dark. I don't know, I could see it on my TV, and it was dark but not too dark for me to see, and I thought that it really built suspense really well, honestly. I really liked that battle, despite the fact that the rest of the season fell so flat and was just absolutely lacking. I mean, they needed a couple more seasons to wrap that up, but the Battle of Winterfell was beautifully shot and the choreography was amazing. I really thought that fight choreography was cool, especially, honestly, Maisie Williams as Arya, like, she just really killed it with that character. She absolutely nailed it, and she had a great performance in that battle. Like, whatever you think about the way it was shot or whatever, she had an amazing performance, and I feel like that alone was just something that I liked watching. So as much as I also agree with the criticisms of season 8, one criticism I can't really get behind is the Battle of Winterfell, because I watched it and my first reaction was absolutely blown away, to be honest. I really liked it. It's like the only thing I liked. But I really liked it. Okay, I've kind of been talking for a while, so I feel like I'm just going to include one more unpopular opinion, which is I love black licorice. Black licorice is just one of my favorite candies. Black licorice jelly beans are the only jelly beans I want to eat, and I love black licorice. If you're from a Scandinavian country or maybe Germany, you probably eat more black licorice. In the US, people do not eat quite as much black licorice. People just don't like it as much. I don't know. I love it, but I find that when I talk to people about liking black licorice, almost everybody I know thinks it's disgusting. Almost everyone I know doesn't like it. It seems like one of those kind of polarizing topics where you either love it or you hate it. So let's end on this note, and you let me know below. Do you love black licorice or do you hate black licorice? Or are you just lukewarm to it? I've never met anyone who just was lukewarm to it, so that'd be kind of interesting. But yeah, let me know below, what are your thoughts on black licorice or any of my other unpopular opinions? I'm ready for people to be upset, so you can come for me. But that's gonna be it for this video, so thank you so much for watching. I will see you later.